I think the thing that makes Rocky such a Philly movie is considering when the movie was filmed in 1976. That was during the time when Philadelphia was experiencing its largest population decline. Um, and this was due to the decline of manufacturing in Philadelphia, as was going on in other former industrial cities in the north. Many jobs were either going into the suburbs or down south or overseas. So so in that way, it wasn't unique. But the thing that made Philadelphia unique is because the manufacturing that was happening in Philadelphia, they didn't do very much mass production. Instead, there were many different manufacturing going on. They built ships, they built locomotives, a whole bunch of textile factories. They made rail cars, auto bodies. They made so the Stetson hat company started in Philadelphia. They made all sorts of different things in Philadelphia, and also they didn't do mass production. They did specialty, high quality, custom products. So this affected Philadelphia in a couple different ways. So for one, because it wasn't known for a single industry like what happened with Detroit when auto manufacturing declined, the whole economy went down. But in Philadelphia, because there were so many different things being manufactured there, just one sector going down didn't mean everything went down. So it was a slower decline, but slow but certain decline. And then the other thing that made Philadelphia unique because of that type of manufacturing was because since they didn't do mass production and instead did custom specialty goods, the demand for their products depended on seasonality. So there were times when there was high demand, there were times when there were low demand because it wasn't about produced goods that were consistent demand. So because of that, there were relatively frequent periods of layoffs. So people were compared to other places more often out of the job. But then I guess there was sort of a balance because they produced custom specialty goods. They were able to make more money, I suppose, off of the custom goods. So that there were quite a bit of well-paying manufacturing jobs, but that history of relatively frequent layoffs, I think, caused the people of Philadelphia to have grit and persistence and able to go the distance like Rocky. And then so the thing about Philadelphia is Philadelphia has always had a high home ownership rate, and this was partly due because if you were frequently laid off, having owning a home gave you a means of I don't know, like selling the home or um, uh, taking some money out of the mortgage. So that gave some people stability or some stability during times of uncertainty. So they had some means, and then I suppose when demand was high for goods, the jobs paid relatively well. And so you can't like fully fully pull the rug out of somebody because otherwise you're like done. But having that bit of hope, I think, allow people to strive for something and able to tough things out. So I think that created a culture of grit and persistence and the ability to get through hard times. And in the same sense, Rocky, he wasn't a man of much employable skills. He worked. He was uh, in the movie. He was just like a amateur almost boxer or prize fighter. It seems like, and he was an enforcer for a loan shark. He had few if any, employable skills. He wasn't even particularly a skilled boxer, but he had the fighting spirit, and he was persistent. He was a fighter, so he was able to. The whole theme of the movie is that even though he lost in Rocky One, he made it through all 18 rounds and went the distance with Apollo Creed, and so that period is when Philadelphia was particularly down and out. Since then, like for example, so 1970 to 1980 was the time when there was the highest population drop, but there was still population decline into the 1990s, but it was a much smaller drop, and then population started slowly, slightly increasing after 2000, but primarily through immigration. But the economy has made a comeback. Philadelphia has transitioned into more of a service and tourism economy, and healthcare and education and the life sciences, biotech sector is also a growing industry here. But healthcare and education are the largest industries. University of Pennsylvania is the largest employer in Philadelphia. So it's made some strides, but it is still the poorest among the largest cities, meaning among the largest U.S. cities, Philadelphia has the lowest median income and highest poverty rate. But Philadelphia didn't go the way of Detroit. And even Detroit's doing a little better, but it was never like completely out, and it has made a bit of a comeback. Like Rocky, still has some ways to go. And another interesting thing to consider is many of the scenes in Rocky, where Rocky's house is, Mickey's gym, Adrian's house, the pet shop, and like a lot of the different shots in Rocky's neighborhood, that was Kensington. So in the 70s, Kensington wasn't as bad as it has become. But the reason why it became the way it has is because Kensington was an area of many textile factories and other factories. So when industry or manufacturing declined and they all closed, that created a lot of empty, abandoned factories. So those empty factory buildings became perfect for selling and using drugs. So that's what caused that. But even Kensington, so there are parts that are definitely bad. But I don't know if it's West Kensington, but there's a part of Kensington that's kind of gentrified, and then Fishtown's near there, as well as Northern Liberties. So with gentrification, there's the good and bad. So it's bringing reasons for people to be there, but also it's pricing out people that used to live there. So there's the good and bad. So, but hopefully, Philadelphia can be the comeback underdog story without displacing people. Maybe we can grow, bring more jobs, be a thriving city without pushing people out. Hopefully.